So today we're going to talk about 5 ways that I've simplified my digital life to have more peace and fewer distractions. The reason I did that is because I found myself being obsessed with my phone, always being doom scrolling on Instagram, watching YouTube videos constantly and on TikTok. And I found that I started to become more and more numb and I felt like less of myself. And I started to feel disconnected from a lot of things in my life. And as soon as I had moments where I was slightly bored, I would pull out my phone and I would start scrolling to distract myself. And then several years ago, I implemented the aspect of doing certain digital detoxes, and that really helped me to see the negative effects of my phone and how much I was reliant on it. Because the first 2 to 3 days, I was just tapping each pocket that I had on me to try to see if my phone was there. And I didn't really like that behavior. So today, again, we're going to make this video quick. I just wanted to share the top 5 things that I've personally changed. Again, the title says digital life. I am using some digital tools, but in a different manner to help me have more peace and less distraction. Now, for some context, so you that may or may not know this, I run an online fitness coaching company called Fit Vegan Coaching. We help 1,000+ people in 20 different countries. So my whole life is online. My livelihood is online. That's how I run my business. My team is remote. All of our clients are all over the world. So I need my access to internet and social media and YouTube and all those things in order to make the business run. So I want to say that if you don't make a living out of being online, you can 100% implement these things. And if you make a living out of being online, you can be strategic about doing it the way that I'm going to share with you today to help to get some of your mental real estate back, to start to have some more peace. So the number one thing that I did is I deleted all social media platforms from my phone. Like many of you that are probably clicked on this video because you potentially have some interest in decreasing the amount of time you spend on your phone. I looked into dumb phones. I looked to going back to using flip phones. I looked into kind of simplifying my iPhone that I have. But at the end of the day, it was really challenging because I do travel a lot. So it's kind of handy to have my emails and not my passport, but my tickets for my flight. Like everything is just on my phone, and that's how I communicate with my team as well. So it was really hard for me to step away from using an iPhone and start using a dumb phone or a flip phone. So I gave it a shot. I didn't like it. So simply what I did is I deleted TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I deleted emails. Literally, my phone is so boring that when I open it, the only thing I can do is read old text messages. Like I can't even go on Google or Safari because I deleted those. So there's nothing for me to read. I can't read the news. The only app that I have on there is my Kindle, which I'm going to talk a little bit later on. So I have the Kindle app inside of my phone. So whenever I am waiting somewhere at a doctor's office or whatever it may be, I'm waiting for my wife while she's shopping, I will just open my phone and I can read on my Kindle if I want to, but there's literally nothing else for me to do on my phone. I delete my email app on there, and then whenever I travel, I re-download it and I log into my emails for that period of time, and then I just delete it after. Now, we post on social media every single day. We upload on YouTube 3 times a week. We upload shorts pretty much every single day on YouTube and post on a bunch of different platforms. So how do I do that? One of them is I have my laptop, I have my computer. So the only way that I get to go on social media is if I go on my laptop. And in my household, I have a rule of the laptop stays in the office. So if I want to go on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, any of those things, I have to go on my laptop in my office, which ultimately I have to sit at this chair, which creates some distance between me and my wife because she's probably in another room. She's not going to come and hang out with me in here. So I value the quality time that I have with my wife. So that's why I don't come on my computer and look at those social media apps. The second thing is because I do work from online, I have an incredible team behind me. Again, we've been doing this for 5+ years. So I do have a social media manager that posts the content for me, and that helps to kind of reshare on every single platform. I do all the writing myself, for the writing, for the planning for these videos and all of that. But I do have an editing team that's editing, uploading on YouTube for me. I do have someone posting the videos and the posts and all that fun stuff. So I don't have to worry about that aspect. So delegating the game of being on social media has helped me step away and kind of get some of my mental real estate back, because there's no benefit to me using my time to post on social media. I need to do the writing and the recording, which is why I provide the most amount of value. So one is I deleted all social media from my phone, black and gray. So you can go into your color settings on your phone and make it black and gray like this. And it just makes your phone less fun to be on. There's something about the vibrancy of the colors on your phone that just makes you want to look at it even more. Make it black and gray. So when I open it, Everything's black and gray and it's pretty darn boring, so there's nothing to do on there. The second thing that I did is I bought single purpose devices. I bought this Remarkable tablet. So those of you that are not familiar with it, again, I'm not affiliated with any of those devices. I just really like them. So Remarkable tablet is a tablet to take some notes. There's a keyboard that comes with it. So whenever I want to do my writing for my newsletter that I send every single Saturday, which you can sign up for free in the description, I type my message on there and then I email it to my team to paste it in the newsletter so that I don't have to go on the platform. The only thing you can do on this is type or write. There's literally no other app, no other form of distraction. Now, the other device that I really enjoy has been buying a Kindle, because like I mentioned, I do travel a lot and I used to travel with a lot of different books. For this month alone, I've read 4 books. And so when I travel, I'll try to bring 2 books with me, but a lot of times I'm traveling with all my podcast gear and all of those things, and it takes a lot of space. So investing in this little device has been very helpful. And I honestly really like just being able to tap the next page, being able to email some quotes to myself that I really enjoy, and just being able to purchase a book on the spot for me to read. So a lot of times in the morning when I finish reading my book, I'll literally just go buy another one right away and then I'll start reading it. I don't have to wait to go to a store, to Amazon or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, we maybe have like 50 to 60-ish books. I love a good physical book, but on a day-to-day basis, I want to have a device like this so that all I can do is read. I can't go check emails. I can go on YouTube, which is the reason why I got rid of my iPad. Call it lack of willpower or me not being disciplined, which I think is crap because I train 3 hours a day really hard. I'm very disciplined on my nutrition. I'm very disciplined with my business. I have a lot of success in a lot of areas of my life. So I do think that I have some level of discipline. But just these devices like iPad and all those things have been created to keep you on them. And so when I found myself opening the Kindle app on my iPad, I would start reading and then I would think of something and then I'd open YouTube and start watching a video. I'd like, oh, I have to check a message real quick on Instagram. I click on Instagram for the message and the next thing you know, I've been scrolling for 10 minutes. I know I can't be the only one going through that. So I personally got rid of those devices that make it easy for me to be distracted. So single purpose devices like a Kindle and a Remarkable has been great for me. As much as it would be nice to have one device that does all of it, that also implies that I could easily be doing multiple things with it, which is a form of distraction that I simply don't want to have. The third thing that I do to simplify my digital life is I literally go on digital detoxes. So for the past several years, I've been taking them every 3 months, so every quarter basically, and I go completely offline for 1 week. No social media, no YouTube, no emails, no Slack, no nothing. I go camping, I rent an Airbnb somewhere, go lay on the beach. I go do other things that make me feel like a kid again. That's personally my goal every single time I go on those digital detoxes. And now moving forward, I was doing them every 2 months. Now I'm doing them every single month, the first 7 days of every single month. There's a lot of reasons behind that in terms of, testing the business, making sure it runs smoothly, allowing myself to rest and recover. And it's personally when I come up with my most genius ideas in order to be able to continue to grow, scale, and serve more people with the work that we are doing. So when I have that space to think where there's zero distraction and I'm not worried about emails or Slack or anything else, it really gives me that breathing room to be able to work on myself and come back, recharge, and have more impact. So I do digital detoxes. I understand that not everyone can do those every month or even 2 months or every 3 months. I do them for 7 days. You can do a weekend if you want to, a Saturday and a Sunday, just no phone. If you have urgencies because you have kids, you're taking care of one of your parents, whatever it may be, just delete all the social media apps from your phone that are causing you to have some form of distraction. Don't worry, you can download them back on Monday if you want to. If you delete the Instagram app or the YouTube app, you can re-download it and log into your account, all right? You'll be absolutely fine. So that's the third thing that I do. The fourth thing that I did, my wife and I made the mistake several years ago to put a TV in the bedroom. And that is when my sleep started to suffer drastically. So once my sleep started to suffer drastically and we had connected YouTube on the TV, then we were just watching YouTube videos, right? And there's something about quick consumable content that I think is worse. I do enjoy watching certain YouTube videos that are a little bit more cinematic, that have been really well created. I personally don't really listen to podcasts. I'm primarily spending a lot of my time in terms of education on YouTube. So we removed the TV from the bedroom. So now in the bedroom, the only thing there is to do is to sleep. And the other thing to do is I bring my Kindle with me. I'll put an alarm on my watch at 7:30 to start getting ready to go to bed, brush my teeth, relax, all that fun stuff. And then I'll pull out my Kindle, and then I'll start reading. Sometimes I'll read for 30 minutes, sometimes I'll read for an hour. I'll read until I'm bored, until I feel sleepy, and then I go to bed. So this has allowed me to, again, read some more, gain more knowledge. And then the third thing is I feel better after reading at nighttime than I do if I would have watched Netflix or YouTube videos. So when I wake up in the morning, there's a complete difference in how I feel if I'd watched TV versus if I read. So removing TV from the bedroom made a massive difference, so that all you can do in the bedroom is sleep and other fun activities, but primarily, just sleeping. Now, the fifth thing, with this day and age, I think we're just bombarded with notifications all the time. So I personally am a fan of an old school watch, right? That doesn't have any notifications on there, where no one can call you and you're answering like James Bond, where you don't see your text ding you every single time. I think it's just another way for people to be able to get a hold of us. So call me old school, but I don't want people to have that much access to me that easily. I already have a phone on me, and a lot of times I leave it in the car or whatever it may be. Even my parents know if they want to reach me and I'm not picking up, they can just call my wife, and my wife's probably with me, and they're going to get a hold of me from there. But a lot of the time there's no real urgency. I don't need to pick up on the spot. And I think it starts to create a lack of boundary for a lot of people. So personally, I just like an old school watch. I personally like different styles of watches. I collect a few of them, but it just allows me to not have that constant notification on my wrist, because every time I've bought an Apple Watch to actually give it a shot, which happened twice, I end up selling it within a matter of like a month or 2 months, because it was way too annoying for me. And even if I turned off all the notifications from the Apple Watch or from all the other watches that exist, I still found myself like scrolling through it to trying to look at different notification of like, oh, where are my steps at? Where are my calories burned at? So I would always get distracted by those things. So you might notice on my wrist, I have a Whoop tracker on the other side. That one I like because I just check once a day. I literally leave the app open on my phone in the background, so it's always syncing. When I wake up in the mornings, I look at my sleep with my recovery scores for the day, and I just close it, and that's pretty much done. So I don't obsessively look at the data. I just look at it once per day. I get what I need, and then I get out. So for me, those have been 5 big ways that have allowed me to drastically decrease the amount of time I spend on digital media. It's allowed me to have more peace. It's allowed me to feel more like myself again. It's allowed me to have fewer distractions, which I'll be honest, I'll still have my moments where I get distraction. I think we live in a world where everything is always fighting for our attention, because that is the newest level of currency. And as much as I would like to go live in the woods in a cabin with an old school phone and no Wi-Fi and all that fun stuff, I happen to do work that I enjoy, which allows me to serve thousands of people. And I like the aspect of it being online, because again, I've coached 1,000+ people. I wouldn't have met 95% of those people. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to impact them if it wasn't for the online aspect. So it was just about me finding a better balance as to how I would be able to do that work. And, I've been at this for 5+ years. So over the years, I identified, okay, it drains my energy to go and post on Instagram. Let me hire someone to do that. I like writing. Perfect. If I write on my laptop, I get distracted. I open other tabs. I look at Slack. I look at email. So then I bought this device so that I can type my message and email it to me, because there's literally nothing else for me to do on that device. So I found little ways throughout the years to, again, eliminate distractions so that I can be focused and do some deep work on the things that I truly care about and where I'm the most skilled at. And that's basically how I've been able to do it. It's just that refinement over the years. But I'll be honest, those are pretty much the top 5 things that have made the biggest difference for me. And I can't tell you enough how more peaceful I am, how much more like myself I feel. And the reason I started to do digital detoxes every month is because when I was doing them every 2 months for 1 week, the first week that I'd be back online, I'd be like, okay, like I'm fine not being on social media. The second week, it would start to creep back in a little bit more. The third week, oh, Instagram's back on my phone. And then I'm looking at messages, I'm uploading some stories, and then next thing you know, I'm getting distracted. And then about the 4th or 5th week into my old protocol of 2-month digital detox every 2 months, then I start to find myself getting numb, where I would just randomly scroll and my brain would blank out. I'd lose whatever 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. I'd be like, oh, I was supposed to, do this task. I was supposed to send this email or work on this project or record this video. And that doesn't really happen anymore now that I've cut the amount of time between digital detoxes. So it's like enough, it's not enough for me to be like contaminated, with digital media. At the 3-week mark, I start to get contaminated again, and then boom, I take a little reset. So I kind of find a really nice flow for myself, which again, understandably, I know not everyone has the ability to do it for 7 days every single month. But genuinely, if you don't make a living out of being online, you 100% should be able to do that. Phone calls and texts are fine with family members. When I find myself being bored, I called old friends that I haven't talked to in a long time because now I have time versus trying to catch up with them on social media and get the highlight reel of what's happening in their life. And a lot of my friends aren't public people like me, so there's not much to see. So I just get to call them and have a good old catch up with them and have like a 1-hour conversation. And it always fills my cup to do that. So I want to share these 5 things with you because I think that as the world progresses, we're getting more and more and more distracting. We're getting more and more numb. That is causing us to make more reactive decisions in our life. If you're always numb, if you're always on the go, if you're always distracted, if you always feel you have to answer to everyone, then you start to make reactive decision when it comes to your food. You start to make reactive decision when it comes to your schedule. Like, I can't work out. I got to do all of these things because you're being pinged with multiple notifications. You go for fast food because I don't have time to do these things because I have to work on this. I have to answer this email. So I think there's a lack of boundary. There's a massive amount of distraction. Everyone is fighting for your attention, which to a certain extent, you watching this video potentially may be a form of distraction unless you consciously sat down to watch this video and learn something, versus if you're just kind of watching videos because you're bored right now. You might be watching this at 1 a.m. Who knows? Knowing that you need to shut down your phone. So the intention and when you're doing matters tremendously. So anyways, long enough of a rant. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comment section below if you want more videos like this. I talk a lot about nutrition, fitness, body composition, all these fun things, but this is an area of my life that has grown stronger in my heart to speak about because I've had my own struggle with it and I still fight it, and I'm trying to find little ways to improve it. In 2 years from now, this protocol might look completely different, but this is what I found to be the most helpful for me in the past 5 years. And I just want you guys to not waste, a chunk of your life, years of your life staring at a screen with no reason, no purpose ultimately. I would much rather you be out there spending quality time with your wife or your husband, exercising, cooking healthier meals for yourself, doing activities that you actually enjoy versus watching other people doing it online. So that's my little rant. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. We have a lot of cool guests coming on the podcast. I appreciate you all and have a good rest of your day.